Very first garden tour of my brand new home in Mount Vernon, my brand new 110-year-old home, I should say. I'm just several streets away from downtown Mount Vernon. I love the area. I've got really nice neighbors. It's a lot less people. It's like a third the population of where I lived in Everett. But and you're gonna hear there are trains like a block behind my house, which I actually like them. They don't bother me at all, but you're gonna hear one come by in a minute. But this I'm gonna show you is my berry patch. I planted here, this is the 2 blueberries that I brought from my old place, and they did really well, and they're already starting to flower, so I'm really happy about that. Both of them are. So I am really happy that they did well. This is a new, and this is so healthy, and I love how healthy and green this looks, but this is a thornless black satin blackberry. There's the train I told you about. This is a huckleberry that I purchased from the Washington Native Plant Society. And here comes the train. And I actually like the train. It doesn't wake me up at night. The first night it did, because they come by like really early in the morning and the coal trains come by. But I think once your body knows that it's not going to kill you, then it doesn't wake you up. But this is a salmonberry. This is the other berry that I purchased from the Native Plant Society. And it has really cute little pink flowers on it. And then if we go over here, this is my fire pit area, which I'm not really into having fire pits, so I kind of moved the benches around, and I'm going to get a little table here and make this little sitting area. But it is a good place to put potted plants. That's just the back gate. It goes out to the alley. That's where I take the garbage to. And I've got my potatoes are growing really well. I've got a purple potato, I've got yellow potato, I've got a fingerling potatoes, and I've got red potatoes. And the fingerling and the yellow both were just cut up organic potatoes from my Ferretocious Farm. Every other week I get a farm box from them. So it's kind of cool that I didn't like go and buy potato starts. I just cut up, this is actually all from 2 potatoes, and this is all actually from 1 potato. So kind of cool. If you have organic potatoes that they're not sprayed with a growth inhibitor, so you cut them up and every little piece that has a sprouting eye on it will yield a new plant. So it's really cool that everything has grown, and it's grown really well. And I'm doing it a little different this year, so these pots aren't so heavy, so I can move them around if I want to. And that's another beauty of this fire pit, is that I don't have to move these out of the way of the lawnmower like I did at my old place. So what I'm doing is I'm putting straw in here. I put in soil, and then as the plants grow, I'm adding straw, so you can actually steal potatoes as they start growing. So yeah, and it also makes the pots a lot lighter, and then I can just put the straw in my compost bins. This ugly area here is a work in progress. It's just, I don't know when the last time it ever was weeded. It's really horrible, and I've sprayed it with 2 different types of weed killer. And I'm trying to keep it natural, because I do grow all organically, so it's just not really fighting off all this stuff. So I'm just gonna have to get in here with this rake and just rip all this stuff out by hand. And then I just picked up these cool flamingos from Costco. I did put, as you can see, the privacy screening that I had for my old place. I put at the front there, and then I bought a whole other one because I had about 80 feet of fence to cover. But the neighbors are really nice, but I just like the privacy aspect of it, because these fences are not privacy fence. They have gaps in between every panel, so it's much nicer. It just feels more closed in and homey. And also the things that I put on the fence and the flamingos, everything shows up much better with that background. These planters are a mix of my favorite little flower, calabachoa, which are kind of they're related to the petunias. They're tiny little flowers, and then a mix of petunias and calabachoa. And I got a whole bunch. I spent like $100 on flowers this year. But look at that one. Isn't that beautiful? That one's called Doublet Love Swept. They're just so pretty. But anyway, once this is cleared out, I've got this mix of native wildflowers that I'm going to keep in there, and I'm just going to try to keep it pretty low maintenance. That some are perennial flowers, so I can just top it off with more seeds every year. But right now it's just stressing me out that this looks so gross. So now that the weather's really nice, I'm just going to get out here and do a bit of this every day and try to clear this all out. This is my butterfly bush from the old place, and I'm so happy to report that I didn't kill it. I thought it was dead, but as you can see, it's got all kinds of growth, and even these parts up here that were just all dried out that I thought were completely dead, everything is sprouting. So I am really excited. I don't know if we'll actually see any flowers this year, but the progress that it's made is crazy. And it is a very late spring flower. It's usually like June-ish, I think I get flowers on this. So it's still got lots of time. And what's cool is my place faces west. And I'm sorry, my place faces east. So I basically have the sun all day long. So it's gonna get a ton of sun just like all my plants will. Here is another one, Calabrachoa. Isn't that pretty? I love that color. And here's another one. Sadly, this is just petunias. This is my favorite little night sky petunia. And I dropped the pot, fell over. So I think I might have killed it. And this is my gutter planters that you remember from my old place. Ignore the dog. He's only barking because somebody 2 houses down has people up on their roof. And I think he sees them and it's freaking him out. He isn't usually barking. But this is I only planted this like 3 weeks ago. And look at this lettuce already. It's crazy, my romaine. But again, it's getting sun all day long because it's on this, it's on a south fence. And so it gets, I mean, from dusk till dawn, it's got, from dawn till dusk, it's got sun. But this is all romaine. And this is, I think this was called Green Lake or Silver Lake or something lake. Green leaf, what is it called? Oh, never mind, it's just green leaf. And it's called 2-star green leaf lettuce. This came from which is really cool. I love that this whole fence is a couple of plants that I bought from the Skagit Valley Co-op, the nice natural market up the road. So this was only like, I think this was like $7 worth of plants. So kind of crazy the amount of lettuce I have already. And then we've got, I see a soccer ball in my yard, which means the kids have come over here. This is baby romaine, and this is more green leaf lettuce. And then we're going to go over here to the raised beds. This first raised bed is all my, hey, I'm doing a video for YouTube. This is my strawberries from my old place. This started all from 5 strawberry plants I bought back in 2014. And when I moved here, I had about 100 plants, and I gave a bunch to a neighbor and a bunch to somebody that came and got a bunch of my organic soil. And then I planted a lot more of them here, and they have just taken off. They're doing great. The only issue here is you see this area here is nothing really going on, and that's because this gutter up here, can't really see, but it's coming off the house, and the landlord hasn't fixed it yet because she's waiting until she gets the roof replaced. So I have to, every time it rains, I have to run out here with this piece of corrugated steel and cover it, but it has killed off anything that was right here. So I'm just going to let the dinosaur hang out there and keep the strawberries elsewhere. Cappy sees his friends. Cappy, stop. This is a tomato plant. And then we've got, these are Walla Walla onions and Swiss chard. These were all just planted about a week ago. Okay, back. I had to go scold the little kids that I told not to kick the soccer ball in my yard. And they did, and they knocked over one of my solar pathway lights and broke it. Anyway, this is back to the garden here, and I've still got place to plant here. I've got some turnips and other stuff that I've got going from seed that's going to go in here. This is I think it's kind of like cherry tomato sized. And then we've got Swiss chard and Walla Walla onions, a mix of cauliflower, snow peas, and cranberry beans. And then if we go over here, this is just kind of my little garden supply area. And then we've got another tomato here, and this is an heirloom. Looks like it's going to be a larger tomato. And over here we've got some beets and some pole beans, and again, a lot of space that I can use. But, oh, I'm going to show you the front. Let's walk out front. So the porch, I'm going to show you all the flowers and stuff I got out here. I'm going to pause this. So up front, I've planted some little sweet pea flowers, and remember how I had them, I had beans growing up this windmill, so I'm going to have flowers growing up the windmill. Over here we've got some sunflowers that are going to be in front of my bedroom window. I'm not sure what these are. I'm going to ask the landlord. I may just dig them out because this is where I want to put my squash. I've got crook neck or straight neck and zucchini squash that I am currently growing from seed. And then I put a little lavender plant there. And if you go up here, we've got some of my favorite, the sky, different. This one's called Electric Purple Sky, and there's Night Sky, petunias. I went crazy on flowers this year, but there's just so many. Beautiful fuchsia plant. And this is my 3-tiered planter. And this is petunias. And then if we go over here, we've got calabrachoa. And this one is called blackcurrant punch. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is my favorite flower that I like to use for mixing with these bright colored flowers. It's called Bacopa, and it trails down so nicely. You can see it's already crawling down here. And it'll last even longer than the flowers. I've had the Bacopa all the way up through December. It's kind of crazy. But more of that, and then one up top. And then over here we have some petunias mixed with Bacopa. And this one is really pretty, and it's got a funny name. It's called Holy Cow. But isn't that beautiful? So pretty. But I hope you like. And this, I'm going to eventually put probably like a little bistro table here. But for now, I have my little shelving unit that has my plant labels and all my gloves and knickknacks in there for gardening. That's my fertilizer. These are all my bird feed containers. And then some small pots. And then a bird bath that I need to repair because I broke it, sadly. And then we have some bird feeders out front, and we've been seeing quite a lot of birds. So, and we have an quince tree and an apple tree out front, and they're both filling in nicely. So I hope you like this little tour of my place so far, and I will do another one in a couple weeks as the vegetables start growing and let you see how things are progressing and how well these flowers spread out. It should start smelling quite heavenly out here. Not only do I have the petunia and the calabrachoa, which both smell really nice at night, but I also have a lilac. That shrub down in the front there is a lilac, and then on the other side I just planted a lavender, so it is going to be heaven out here.